So I'm gonna spend a few minutes talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders Season 2. Kujo Jotaro versus Dio Brando. A very iconic fight. Two very iconic characters. Star Platinum versus Zawaldo. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Now, the season has, well, part 3 as a whole has actually ended. It has ended, or it did end yesterday, Friday. And I don't know if they're going to do a part 4 anime, but regardless, this is about just a fight. Not the entire season. What I will do in the future is that because for the most part, I did review Season 1, but not Season 2. So what I'll do in the future is that I'll do a season overview of Season 2 of Stardust Crusaders. But right now, just the fight. Just the fight, alright? Yo, come on, man. Like, this was fantastic. This is, and I know what I'm saying may be a stretch for some folks, but in my personal opinion, this fight was one of the best fights I've seen in anime. And more so, it was episode 47. Episode 48, I have some issues with because the ending, I was like, the whole time-stopping thing, how he just suddenly, like, he already had it, but, like, he gets it to, like, an umph degree, Jotaro, at the end of the fight. And that was something like, but he did use it at the right time. So I'll give him that. But throughout the entire fight, he was slowly able to actually move during that time stop that Dio had. But the fact that it was Jotaro himself who could initiate the time stop was like, yeah, like it was just too convenient. But it was hinted that he was going along those lines of power. Because Star Platinum and the world, Zawaldo, are the same type of stain. And plus, Dio's body is of Jonathan Joestar. So the whole lineage thing, again, it makes sense. It makes sense in a lot of ways. It's just too convenient. And I'll talk about them all later on. But episode 47 was perfect. All right? Absolutely perfect. I saw no flaws whatsoever. That was so fucking good. If anything, episode 47 trumps episode 48 when it comes from the fight perspective only. Because in episode 48, once Dio consumes the blood of Joseph Joestar, he stops using tactics for the most part. And what he starts doing is that he starts to, like, almost like a drug addict. Like, the blood of the Joestars gives him a high. And he just starts to utilize more brute strength as opposed to tactics. Episode 47, the tactics were there. Oh, man. I'm like, yo, when Dio, this scene to me was awesome. When Jotaro got stabbed by the knives after Dio threw them. And he did the time stop, the time ended. The 5 seconds were up. And Jotaro had the books in his cap, in his clothes, to lessen the blow from the knives. And then how you have Polnareff come in there, try and stab Dio. Okay, you stab him in the head, but he's a vampire and doesn't work. And then just hits him right in the abdomen. There's like his abdomen like caves in. Like, what the fuck, man? And then this dude Dio has a sign. He's gonna cut off Polnareff's head. JoJo, he just scratches the ground. And Dio, cat-like, just, he hears that shit. He flips, drops the sign, he's like, fucking shit. Jotaro, I'm like, yo, like, he was so fucking cautious. It was beautiful, man. Like, that one flip, like, oh, shit. Jotaro, you. And I'm like, oh, it was good. It was fantastic. He takes the fingers in the guy's neck, controls him. He shoots Jotaro just to make sure that he's dead. Grabs the bullet. He's like, no, let me make sure. Listens for his breathing, can hear the breathing. puts his ear in the ground to hear his heartbeat. Jotaro has Star Platinum's hand to stop his own heartbeat. He's on the verge of blacking out. I'm like, that was fantastic. That was masterful. And what was also awesome was the volleys of punches. Oh, come on, man. Oh, the volleys of punches were awesome. Through and through, episode 47 and episode 48. Through and through. Oda! Muda! And then it just constantly back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that was awesome. Episode 48, when Dio, I don't know what happened, but once he consumed Joseph's blood, he got like green lipstick. I don't fucking know. But either way, this dude, he's more vicious. He's more he was already psychotic to begin with, but he was far more vicious and brutal. And no holds barred. And when he knows he can stop time for now 9 seconds, well, he does that, and he does it in like more frequent intervals. So the moment he stops time for 9 seconds for the first time, he beats down Jotaro with the volley punches and kicks, and then Jotaro goes flying. And Jotaro can defend some of them, but not all of them. And then what happens is, he stops time again, and he brings out the road roller. And I'm like, that's awesome, man. He's carrying the road roller. He drops that shit on Jotaro. The order's like, I'm gonna count the shit, and he's like, no, muda, and perfect. Like, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, it's a man's wet dream to just see fists flying like that, man. It's awesome. I love this fight. I can rewatch this shit over and over and over and over and over again. Now, granted, I really didn't want Dio to get the Steely Dan treatment, man. Because Dio, all he gets is like a punch to like the leg. His the world. Now, granted, Dio's legs were already wounded by Star Platinum's kick. Once Jotaro can stop time, he gets that golden aura. And then he kicks him both legs. And he can't, like, he's recovering, but very slow. Uses the blood to block out Jotaro's eyes and vision. Thinks that he has the upper hand on Jotaro. Was gonna kick his head off. Literally. No. Jotaro blocks with a punch. Like that one. And his hand cracks. So Star Platinum's hand cracked. But Dio's leg, like, fucking shattered. And then, like, the shockwave went up all across the world. And Dio's body, like, exploded. And I'm thinking, like, dude, that was nasty. Don't get me wrong. But I really wanted Dio to get the Steely Dan treatment. Like, straight up, a minute of orders. That's what I really wanted. Steely Dan got the fucking shit beat out of it. The 20 seconds of just auras. I wanted that and then some for Dio. Because he's the main fucking villain. So the whole one punch at the end, yeah, like it could have been better. In my personal opinion. It was still beastly, but it could have been better. But seeing Dio's face crack, his eyeballs start to like just decay. Well, not decay, but you know, basically his whole body was cracking. And then he's like, I'm Dio! Dio! And boom. That was good. But again, more so for me, episode 47. That was the episode. That is an easy yo, man. That's easy. Yeah. Easy. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot better when it comes to the unrated version of it. Because, you know, censorship showed that. Like, for example, like there's the scene where he absorbs Joseph's blood, and he's on that high, and he's clawing his own fucking face off. I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot, you know, better if it wasn't blacked out. Like, at least the scratch marks would have seen some brain matter. You know, like when you have the gore there, it just, again, it raises the sense of danger and intensity and whatnot. So, overall, I mean, no problems with the fight at all. With the exception of the ending parts, where the ending parts were a little bit iffy. And again, Jotaro getting the power at the end was very iffy, but I can see why he did it. Again, he's a genius. Dio has been trained with this stand for about, like 6 months, some shit like that. Jotaro, a little over a month for the most part. And Jotaro was starting to actually understand his stand powers more and more throughout the entirety of their journey. And he finally understood that his stand could actually perform the same feats as Dio's stand. It's just that it's very convenient where the road roller comes in. Dio has, he is winning the volley session, and boom, time stop at the 9-second mark, and then voila, I'm behind you. So it was tactical on Jotaro's part, but again, the fact that he could use the power right then and there, I can do it now. I question that, but it is what it is. Still good nonetheless. I like that shit, man. I like that shit a lot. Like episode 47, the slightest twitch Jotaro made, Dio super on guard. Like, you have Jotaro, and then he does the weldo after he's tested Jotaro. And then he's gonna chop off Jotaro's head with a karate chop. The fingers just twitch. He's like, "Oh, nani!" And then I'm like, dude, super cautious, because what it does is that it reflects the history of Dio with the Joestars. He knows that the Joestars are very lucky. They're they have the will to continue to fight constantly. I forgot what the word was, but they're very, fuck it. You get what I'm trying to say, all right? They have the will to fight always, through and through. They persevere. There you go. They persevere constantly. They're very lucky. They're very cunning. Joseph was a key example of that. In part 2, really cunning. Because he's always facing enemies that were far greater than himself from a power standpoint. But he won through using tactics and tricks and whatnot. So Dio knew that. That's why he always had to be on alert. He's like, fuck, these goddamn Joestars. They're tricky. I gotta make sure that these guys are fucking dead. Alright? That's why he was doing everything he could to make sure that Jotaro was dead or near death before he actually, went and attacked him. So it was awesome. So that's it. I'm done. King Lightning. I will, again, in the future, probably during the summer, I'll do an overview of season 2, and that's it. So I will see you guys later. Give me your thoughts on the Dio Brando versus Jotaro fight. And part 4 is coming. I don't know, but what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to actually read part 4. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read part 4, part 5, part 6, whatever. Because now I'm back in the groove, right? Because I know what lies ahead when it comes to some characters. And when it comes to the other parts of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. However, I want to find out the full-on details. And the only way I can do that is by reading the actual parts. So part 4 I'm going to read probably tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and that's it. So King Lightning, once again, rate the video, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys later. Have a nice one.